On this episode of Lapeef, Let's Talk.
It's just so funny to me because basically what some people on the panel described was a monolith, right? And basically they said all people, no matter what your experience, no matter what your background, no matter how you grow up, no matter where you came from, no matter how you interact with people, no matter where you was born, everybody looks at everybody the exact same way. And that is so crazy to me. That is silly. It is. And then for somebody to say that somebody can't be pro-black based off of how they marry, or they don't even take into consideration what somebody else may do for a group of people, and that don't factor into it. It's all just based off of how you look. I mean, just throw it all in the trash. Nobody gave any real clarification. Nobody gave any real situations, and they picking and choosing according to how they feel. And I just don't understand how people just advocate for something that they don't even have a clear definition or understanding of what they advocating for.
And I'm proud that came about to try, to flip the script on that. But like,
all I did is I took that statement, I broke it down in layers, because light-skinned people do exercise light-skinned privilege. And the closer they get away from that, guess what happens? I mean, we see this all the time. So, I mean, I'm glad that you see and say, because now I can understand your answer better, because you say you're not either. You're not judged by the color of your skin. So I'm with you there. But if we're going to talk about pro-black and people run around with their fists up talking about pro-black, and then now they love light-skinned kids, they love this. As far as they get away from being black, they're more happier. So but I appreciate your empathy.
Those are the same people.
That's a whole other conversation about colorism. That's a whole other conversation.
You think that the same people who walk around talking about I'm pro-black are the same ones like
I want to be the lighter the better.
Two different groups you could be talking about.
And truth be told, according to what you said earlier, it sounds like you're ready to, and some of the rhetoric that I'm hearing, this is my first time I've heard you speak, because, part of me and part of my ignorance, I'm just learning about this podcast, and it's amazing.
Don't judge me though. Like you said, I judge you though.
I'm not a judgmental person, but what I will say is I do pay attention and I observe. You know what I mean? And based on what you said earlier, these chicks, it sounds like you have a bit of disdain for our Black women and for what you deem light-skinned women or light-skinned people. I'm not going to say, because you said, I feel like you generalized. You didn't necessarily say light-skinned women. I could be mistaken though, but I thought you said light-skinned privilege and you were referring to just light-skinned people. So.
Well, there was two different topics right there that you talking about. The first one you said when I was talking about Black women as a whole, and then we started talking about this light-skinned privilege. Two totally different conversations.
I mean, but are we speaking about Black light-skinned people? Because that's what you were referring to when you were speaking about light-skinned privilege, was it not?
Yeah, but that's the second layer of the conversation. The initial thing, I said that when I had made my statement about pro-Black, yeah, then I stated Black women. But then to break down y'all conversation about pro-Black, I threw in light-skinned privilege.
Okay, but so then it kind of all falls under the same thing, because you're talking about Black people with light-skinned privilege, no?
No, you got me lost now. But
all right,
no problem.
All right, hold tight, y'all. I want to try to see if Mr. Detail, you there? You on?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead. I want to get your thoughts about the topic right there. Can you marry somebody outside your race and still be pro-Black? What are your thoughts?
Man.
You all right over there, fam?
We've been on here for 48 minutes, You
good, bro?
I don't know who to agree with. I don't want no pushback.
Hear me out. So I have mixed feelings about it, because like I'm a firm believer on to each his own, right? But like me personally, no, hell no. Just me personally, like I feel like if you pro-Black, you gotta live into the core. And I mean, I just can't see you being pro-Black and not being married to someone that is not Black. it just doesn't make sense to me. But like I said, that's my personal belief. You know what I'm saying? Each his own for everybody else. But for me, black women, that's where I'm gonna stay. So,
Do you have an Android, D?
don't disrespect me. You got an iPhone.
It sounds choppy. I don't know what's going on over there.
No, you know what? The crazy
but your
part is I was trying to get on my computer, but I'm not near it. So like I had to jump on with my phone. So I don't know. That's why I was trying to make sure that you guys can hear me.
Yeah, if you get on your computer, you can't get on the Safari. You got to get on the Chrome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you got some AirPods or some headphones,
y'all giving them coaching sessions.
I was trying to help them out.
Y'all coaching him through this mid show.
My camera's off. Someone said my camera's off.
No,
Your
like
camera's
your
fine.
picture is a little fuzzy.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Because Kay is bugging
just
me.
me
Looks
that
super
copy, or
clear.
is it like
So I'm like, I don't know.
oh, you got the like little J Prince. Should be
No, we still
blurry
can't
as
see you. You
hell.
look like a cartoon, Q.
For real?
Yeah.
No,
I mean, just rock with it. It'll clear up eventually.
Yeah.
raise your camera resolution. So go to settings, and then
Man,
you'll see.
Man, it's like a Geek Squad, ain't it?
Advanced and camera resolution.
Oh yeah,
Geek
you're
Squad
right.
Live.
That shit was on 360.
Yeah, there you go. You good now.
It look better now?
It's gonna take a while for
It's
it
gonna
to
take a little minute to get in.
Oh, okay.
All
It
right,
was
so
on
if you guys are just tuning in, welcome to Lapeef Let's Talk. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure you guys hit the like button. Hit the like button. Why the hell they do that shit like that? Yeah, I gotta fix that. Anyhow, it's a great conversation, man. It's a great conversation. Let's move on to our next topic. Y'all good?
No.
What's wrong?
Yeah.
You need to leave and
Great,
come back?
actually. Been having a good week.
Because all that junk that they were talking was bullshit. And I just listened to it. And it's so full of shit, bro. Because basically what I've learned in this whole conversation is that there aren't any real parameters for whether or not somebody is pro-black or not. Nobody mentioned, it's funny because nobody mentioned anything about what they do for their community, how they shop, how they spend their money. Nobody talked about anything relevant to actually building anything. And the only thing that they 100% focused on was whether you was mixed or not, whether you was an American, what is
So
it?
I guess, well, did you take a, hold on.
I'm sorry, I was quiet the whole time. I would like to talk. Thank you.
Okay, and I'll go after you.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's just so funny to me because basically what what some people on the panel described was a monolith, right? And basically they said all people, no matter what your experience, no matter what your background, no matter how you grow up, no matter where you came from, no matter how you interact with people, no matter where you was born, everybody looks at everybody the exact same way. And that is so crazy to me. That is silly. It is. And then for somebody to say that somebody can't be pro-black based off of how they marry, or they don't even take into consideration what somebody else may do for a group of people, and that don't factor into it. It's all just based off of how you look. I mean, just throw it all in the trash. Nobody gave any real clarification. Nobody gave any real situations, and they picking and choosing according to how they feel. And I just don't understand how people just advocate for something that they don't even have a clear definition or understanding of what they advocating for.